If we were to step out on a clear night this month, the most obvious constellation we would see would probably be Orion. Recognisable to most folk, Orion is an utterly fascinating area of the sky for astronomers. For example, if you take some time to let your eyes adjust to the darkness and look around the main stars in the constellation, you'll see that one of them looks a distinctly different colour from most of the rest, being slightly orange whilst the others are bluer. This star on the top left-hand side has the name Betelgeuse and is classified by astronomers as a red giant. That name is pretty self-explanatory, but what it means is that the star is aging rapidly, and although it's only about 8.5 million years old, it's well on its way to erupting in a supernova explosion. From astrophysics we know that the more massive a star is, the quicker it will consume its fuel and hence age. Betelgeuse is about 20 times as massive as the Sun, and with a diameter of about 950 times greater. If it were at the centre of our solar system, it would swallow all the planets out to just short of Jupiter. Its distance is 650 light years or so. In other words, it's so far away that light from it takes 650 years to reach us. Think about that for a moment when you're looking at it. Little photons of light which were produced in that star have travelled across space for 650 years, penetrated the thick atmosphere of the Earth, and ended their existence by hitting the retina in the back of your eye. Doesn't that make you feel just a little privileged? The brightest star in Orion is down at the bottom right, Rigel. By contrast, this is a blue supergiant with a mass of 17 times that of the Sun and lies at a distance of about 770 light years from us. But the big jewel in the crown, as far as Orion is concerned, is the Orion Nebula, a huge region of gas and dust within which new stars have just been born and others are forming. You can just about see this with the naked eye, although if you look at it through a telescope or binoculars, you'll notice that there are bright stars in the middle there called the trapezium, which seem to be helping light up a smudgy area nearby. The smudge is called a nebula after the Latin word for cloud. Some of the most famous images of modern astronomy come from large telescopes or the Space Telescope, pictures of this region. As you can see here, they are pretty stunning. Just look at all that wispy detail and the range of colours. This kind of detail is, of course, far too faint and distant for our eyes alone to pick out. Interestingly, the new stars form in the darkest, densest parts, shielded initially by cosmic dust grains, and it's only when the stars have fully ignited and can start to blast away some of their surrounding cocoon and ionise the gas that we can see these glowing colours. The dark clouds are where some of the really interesting things are taking place, and we can get a hint of those by looking at different wavelengths in just visible light. Look at this comparison of optical and infrared, for example. The infrared picture on the right reveals many young stars in the region, whereas the optical picture on the left is full of the glowing gas and dust. Try and find out, if you can, a little more about the Orion Nebula and about star birth. In particular, see if you can answer these questions. Approximately how far away is the Orion Nebula? In other words, how long has its light taken to reach us? What's meant by the term protostar? Lots of astronomical objects have a code name starting with the letter M. The Orion Nebula, for example, is M42. What does this M mean, and how did this labelling scheme come about? That's it. See, it wouldn't be as much fun without something for you to go and research. Although the most important task is just to look up at Orion itself and think.